Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Hour 2, Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Chris Blair in 15 minutes talking Tigers. LSU wins in Oxford last night. We'll also look ahead to the weekend to come on the diamond for Jay Johnson's squad, so he'll be with us in 15 minutes. NFL Combine, which is, I didn't realize this until I looked it up earlier this week. You know, they got folks showing up for the Combine on like Tuesday of this week, kind of eased into things Wednesday, and they don't shut it down until Monday into Tuesday. It's a week long. I think they turned the Combine into a week. The NFL is a marketing machine. It knows how to dominate any month of any year. And you look at the Radio Row they've set up. I mean, I'm paying attention to ESPN Chicago now every single day just because I'm trying to get Cubs news out of Arizona. The whole station packed up and went to Indy. They're watching guys running 140s. The Bears need to go back to being 3-14 is what I'm saying. I need more Cubs content out of them, less Caleb Williams, less Ben Johnson. That's killing me out of Chicago. But I'm here to talk about some of the LSU guys because we've talked about some baseball on the show today. And I want to talk about what's most important to me from the outside for these LSU guys this week in Indianapolis. There are 11 Tigers that are making the trip up there. So I kind of tick them off one by one and tell you what I think is the most important thing. So Garrett Nussmeier's first here, right? Quarterback, you know the story. I think the most important thing for Garrett Nussmeier in this process is going to be the interview process and the whiteboard. That's what I think. I think he put to bed some of the injury stuff at the Senior Bowl when he recorded the highest velocity of any quarterback and the deepest pass of any quarterback. He showed, hey, my arm is back in Mobile, and that's great. So now the question is, what does he say and what can he draw up on the whiteboard? And I think having grown up in that football household with his dad and having been in college for 5 years and having played for various different offensive coordinators and been in different systems, I would think he would be really good on the whiteboard at drawing some things up. And if you don't think Garrett Nussmeier is a franchise quarterback right now, I don't disagree with you completely on that. I'd like to see him get a chance, but maybe not. But how valuable is it to have a backup quarterback who knows what to do, who doesn't need all these reps to learn the system and understand if they're thrust into action, what they need to do? You don't want to have to teach that to a backup quarterback because they're not going to get a lot of reps in practice. Garrett Nussmeier should be really good at that. And all he's got to do is wow one team. And, hey, if some of his answers in the interview session are good too, that's a positive. So to me, it's not that he's throwing, if he is or isn't. He's not going to run a fast 40 time. He's not going to be 6'4". Like, he is who he is. His best attribute, I think, and the best thing he can show off this weekend is his interview presence and the whiteboard. Move on to Aaron Anderson at wide receiver. To me, the most important thing Aaron Anderson will do this weekend is the medical. Because he got hurt at Alabama, and then he came back, and he played at LSU for a couple of years and was really productive in 2024, but he was hurt all of 2025. Aaron Anderson's not going to measure tall because he's not tall. I don't even think he's going to run a super fast 40 time. I never thought of Aaron Anderson as just complete burner. He is fast. That slant he takes to the house against Texas A&M 2 years ago showed some speed, and he ran a kickoff back, which shows some speed. He's not slow, but he's not going to run 4.32. But I think the medical, if that's clean and he's healthy, and you can put that together with the tape from 2024, the production from 2024, and I listened to Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn talk about his route running and his feel for being open, and that stuff's going to pop on tape. They need to know that he's healthy because he missed too much time in college for them not to worry about that. Hopefully that's the case for Aaron. I lumped in Barry and Brown and Chris Hilton in the next portion of this, and you can obviously understand why. Just let him run the 40, baby. Because these are two guys who could quite literally run the fastest time in Indianapolis. They could. And that's their ticket. Like, Barry and Brown ran back 6 kickoff returns. They know he's fast. Chris Hilton, there is tape of him. It's limited, but you can turn on tape of like 6 times he burns the whole defense. But these guys, it's not just, oh, he ran a fast time. They could run the fastest time. And yes, it's important for them to change direction. And yes, it's important for them to catch the ball. And yes, it's important for Chris Hilton's medical to be good, which we understand it will be. And yeah, you got to go meet teams and all that kind of stuff. But these guys aren't first-round picks. They're just not. So go and be the fastest dude there. And I'm hopeful that they are in that ballpark. The 40 is the biggest deal for Barian Brown and Chris Hilton. Then I move to Xavion Thomas. To me, for Xavion Thomas, biggest thing for him is that 3-cone and that shuttle drill. The change of direction, the agility. He's going to run a good time. He's not going to run a Barian Brown, Chris Hilton time. LSU listed him at 5'10". If he's short of 5'10", I'm not going to be stunned. But what he did in college at Mississippi State and LSU was he ran punt returns back for touchdowns. He ran kickoffs back for touchdowns. He was asked to carry the ball this year for LSU in a running game that was terrible because he can carry the ball, change direction, make somebody miss, get out in space. The agility that he's got is his best attribute. So that's what he needs to show. Got to make sure you catch the ball. Got to run a decent time. Got to be able to get on the whiteboard and show some things. All that's important as well. But for Xavion Thomas, show me your 3-cone. Show me your shuttle. Show me how quick you can change directions. That versatility that he can show as just a general ball carrier is Xavion Thomas' best ticket to try to make an NFL roster. So that's what I think is the most important for him. Then you move to Bauer Sharp. Bauer Sharp's a good athlete. He played quarterback in college. He played tight end at 2 different SEC schools. He's okay in terms of his size. He's okay in terms of his speed. Neither one of those is going to improve drastically. What he has to improve, because this is on tape, he's got to catch the ball. So when they run that gauntlet drill where you're running down the yard line and they're firing at you from a different side every 8 yards, he's got to catch them all. When he goes out there and plays one-on-ones, you got to catch the ball. He needs to show hands. He was given the opportunity to do the things he did in college. Go play quarterback in the FCS, go play tight end in the FCS, go play tight end in the SEC. All of that was based on his size and athleticism, which are good. He's big and he's physical. He needs to catch the ball. And I think it's a big deal for Bauer Sharp to show that he can catch the ball with his hands. The tape's not great, and he has some fumbles on tape as well. Got to catch the football. I think that's the biggest thing for Bauer Sharp this weekend at the Combine. Patrick Payton is up next. To me, the best thing for Patrick Payton this week is that I think which this is rare, by the way, he's going to measure well. Like, most guys are listed improperly. Diego Pavia got thrown through the ringer at the Senior Bowl and all that kind of stuff. Patrick Payton is listed at 6'6", 255, and I bet you he's 6'5" or 6'6", and I bet you he's 255 pounds. He's just, I've been to practice. I've seen him. He's not 6'3". This dude is tall and long. And oh, by the way, 17 career college sacks. Not a great year in sacks at LSU, but there is college production, and I think the biggest thing for him is going to be look how big and long this guy is. If you're looking for levers, you're looking for leverage, you're looking for physical traits you can't teach, Patrick Payton has them. And in a weekend where a lot of guys, I mean, how many times am I going to hear about a quarterback's hand size this week? 7? How many times am I going to hear about, oh, this guy came in an inch and a half shorter? Constantly. I don't think that's going to happen to Patrick Payton, and that's going to be a feather in his cap. He's a big, big dude. The measurables are going to be a big deal for Patrick Payton this weekend. Jack Pyburn, same position. To me, Jack Pyburn's biggest thing this week is the position-specific drills with the edge guys. You've seen it. He's got to run that hula hoop. He's got to do the dip and bend because they know he's big. He'll bench press 1 billion. He'll be awesome in the interview room. I've interviewed Jack Pyburn. It's a hoot. He's great. He's focused. He's a football dude. He's a worker. He gives you great answers. Like, he will do great in that instance. And they'll look on the tape and they'll see, okay, he'll set the edge. He will plant his face mask in an offensive tackle's chest and stop the run. All that. Show me some flexibility. Show me some pass rush. He had 2 sacks at LSU after having only 1 in 3 years at Florida. So there was a little bit better, and I think Kevin Peoples teaches that a little bit. But hopefully Jack's had the ability to run around a hula hoop a bunch over the last 2 months. That's what he's got to show, a little bit of bend at the waist at the Combine. And so I'm hopeful that Jack can do a little bit of that. I got 3 more here for LSU Combine guys. Harold Perkins. To me, Perkins is going to run well. He's going to measure poorly. I think he's short, especially if you're talking about like an edge rusher. But he's got some production, and he's got some versatility. I think he probably needs to go into those meeting rooms and talk defense because he's shown he can rush the passer. He's shown he can run with running backs. He's shown he can cover a little bit around the line of scrimmage. He's got good hands. He's shown he can get up the field vertically and make plays in the backfield. He's played on the inside at linebacker. He's played in the slot. He's played on the edge. Like, he's got a lot of versatility. I think a defensive coordinator is going to want to say, okay, tell me about defense. And he probably needs to do well in the meeting rooms there, drawing it up on the whiteboard with as much as he's asked to do. Like Patrick Payton, probably not asked a lot on the whiteboard. Mansour Delane, probably not asked a lot on the whiteboard. They kind of know what their role is and what they're going to do. Harold Perkins has a lot of responsibility, and somebody is going to have to figure out how to use him. I think he's got to talk football with him. So for Perk, I think the whiteboard, the meeting rooms is a big, big deal for him. Two more, both in the secondary. Mansour Delane. Biggest thing for him, I guess get out the tape measure because I'm not putting cleats on. I'm not running. I'm not jumping. I'm not benching. I'm not doing any of that. You want to see it? Turn on the tape. You want to see me run? Turn on the tape. You want to see me flip my hips, run? Turn on the tape. You want to see me bump and run? Turn on the tape. You want to see my ball skills? Turn on the tape. Like, the only thing Mansour Delane could do to hurt himself is he's listed at 6 feet tall by LSU. If they measure him and he's 5'10", that hurts. But I've interviewed him, and I don't think he's 5'10". They sit down when we do it, but they walk in the room. I never looked at him and thought he's short. I think he'll probably measure about 6 feet, maybe 5'11 3/4 or something. That's fine. He's listed at 6 feet. He's a great cover guy. Don't do anything. Don't put cleats on. Got to go through the measuring process. That's the only thing that can hamper Mansour Delane. He's a top 15 pick to me, hopefully top 10. So take it easy, Mansour. Last guy is A.J. Halsey. I'll tell you this. I saw A.J. Halsey the first day of spring ball. Sorry, fall ball. He didn't come for the spring. And I went, that guy's huge. And he is built solidly. He's not tall, but he's built. And if you look at the tape and you look at the stat sheets, he's stuffed them. He had 24 tackles in the game for New Mexico. He was in Big 12 Newcomer of the Year at Houston. He has made play after play after play. 10 interceptions in his career, 19 passes broken up in his career, a boatload of tackles, second on the team for LSU. Like, the production's there. The thing for Halsey, I think he needs to run well. I think he's got to run somewhere right in the neighborhood of 4.5. He's not going to be a 4.39 guy. He's a safety, and he's thick. But if he can run 4.49, 4.69, 4.49, 4.46, something around 4.5.
If he runs a 4.4, he's might be a second round pick at that point. I'm about to say
4.5 is the barometer, and if it's 4.52, like, that's okay. You don't want 4.6. I misspoke on that, but like, if he's around 4.5, that's the best thing for him because the production just speaks for itself. You know he can play. How fast is he? And that's a big deal. And he'll run again at Pro Day, I'm sure. But that's what I think it is for Halsey. So that's a look at kind of everybody on the 11-man list. I think there's some pros on this list. I think there's some guys that are going to struggle to try to make rosters. But I think there are some NFL dudes, and hopefully this is a great week for those guys up there in Indianapolis. All right, we'll take a time out. Chris Blair, voice of the Tigers, next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Make that short drive to St. Francisville. If you're in Baton Rouge, St. Francisville is 25 minutes. What's 25 minutes to save $11,000 off of a Chevy Silverado? If you're in Point Capee or West Feliciana, East Feliciana, maybe you're up in Baker, Scotlandville. Make that short drive to Fabry Chevrolet GMC. New ownership as of October 1st. You know the Fabry family. They've been at it for 35 years. Go by and see them. You're going to get great customer service, an unbelievable buying experience, and service after the sale. That's what's important to the Fabry family. That's why they've been in business almost 4 decades. They're so thrilled about this new point in St. Francisville on Highway 61. If you've been by there previously, it's under different ownership now. Go by and stop in, see the Fabry family. Get that Silverado up to $11,000 off MSRP on the Sierra on the GMC side, up to $13,000 MSRP as well. Short drive, great deals. It's Fabry Chevrolet, online at fabrychevrolet.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Saints got an award yesterday. We'll talk about it coming up in 15 minutes. Chris Blair is the voice of the Tigers. He's with us on Thursdays. Joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Chris, how are you?
I'm great. Good to be home.
Glad to see you at home. It's coming back with a win from Oxford, Mississippi. Plenty of seating available in the pavilion last night, it appeared, but they got the ones that were there got treated to a heck of a competitive game between two teams that have not given up, clearly. That had to be pretty evident from courtside.
Yeah, it was a really competitive game. I mean, obviously the team up in Ole Miss now 10 straight losses, so, it wasn't a capacity pavilion by any stretch of the imagination, although they try to make up with it with their stereo system. But you could tell. I mean, talking to Coach McKinnon Coach McMahon on Tuesday night, had dinner with some folks from Ole Miss, and they were talking about how, this is a team that's desperate to win, trying to break a 9-game losing streak. So you had a sense. I mean, I think everybody kind of felt like that this was going to be a game that would be highly competitive. And as it turned out, it was. It took 2 overtimes, and, you went over the century mark, which is well above what both teams are accustomed to. And I understand that, you got extra basketball to do it, but it was a competitive game. And I think LSU showed that they, again, with all the downs of the season in conference play with a 5-game losing streak, Hunt, it's still, this team has a really good feel about it. I mean, the guys are loose. They had a really good shoot around. The team is locked in. They spend a lot of time together. It's really evident for people who are around the team, especially on the road, that you would not sense it was a team that had really struggled in conference play and had a 5-game losing streak. And I think that's what helped them go out last night and get the win.
I also had a couple of guys that I thought 3 guys in particular were sensational in the game. McKinnon is where we'll start, obviously. He goes for 34, and he was shooting it great in the first half and then didn't settle for that in overtime and was just getting right to the rim and finishing. What did you like so much about Max's game last night?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a bunch of threes in that first half, scored 18 points and was pretty much unstoppable. And, Chris Beard, it's been a struggle this season, but he's a guy that knows how to put up some defense. And, you kind of felt like, all right, guys, we kind of knew Max was their leading scorer. We held Markel Sutton scoreless in the first half. Max goes for 18. Let's take Max away, make somebody else beat us. And pretty much through the second half, I think he only had 4 points, somewhere in that neighborhood, in the second half. It was overtime and in the second session, to your point, where it was like, I'm not going to settle for threes. You guys are going to switch on everything. I'm going to get a mismatch, and I'm going to put my head down and drive. And again, one of his biggest baskets was really, I think, the dagger on the little crossover move and the layup in that second overtime. That's when everybody got up and was headed towards the exits.
Out to the square. Another guy that I just can't say enough about is Jalen Reese, who's been thrust into this spot. 10 assists, 1 turnover last night. You've watched him every dribble. He probably wasn't ready in November. He looks it now.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, 11 points, a double-double with 10 assists. I don't have the numbers in front of me here, but you look at his last 4 games, averaging double figures, and his assist-to-turnover ratio is as good as anybody's in the league over that span. And you literally watched him grow up. And one of the things, talking to the coaching staff, he was thrown into the deep end to start conference play with the injury to Don Thomas after he'd kind of been a complimentary guy in the non-conference. But he's a coach's son, played for his dad in high school, is confident in his ability, and I think that's what we've seen over the last 4 games. I don't think it was an issue of talent. I think he needed experience, and I think that experience would then give him confidence. And over the last 4 games, I think he's playing as confident. He and Max McKinnon are playing as confident as any players I've seen in the SEC. And we've watched him grow up right in front of our very eyes. And, his numbers, again, over the last 4 games, stack up against any point guard in the SEC.
Chance for LSU to rip off a couple here against some teams that are scuffling?
Yeah, I think it's certainly the opportunity. I mean, each game it's got its own set of challenges. Obviously, Oklahoma coming in, they've been up and down. They played really well at times, and then they have really struggled at times. Not all that different, I think, from last year's team, to be honest with you. And, of course, LSU got that win in crazy fashion thanks to Cam Carter in the final seconds of the game in Norman last season. But, yeah, I think Oklahoma is a winnable game. I think if I've always said that if LSU, they're not going to shoot 50% or better from three-point land. Now, they've made a liar out of me the last couple of games, or the last couple of games, I should say. But the fact of the matter is, if they can get 8 to 9 threes and then continue to get their bread and butter, which is Nwoke giving you 15 to 18 points, Markel Sutton, again, went scoreless last night. But, again, if he can give you 10 to 12 points, McKinnon, you start to see how there is a winning formula for this team. And it all comes down to consistency. They played a really good half, I thought, against Alabama. And even though they lost that game, they played pretty tough with a team that, again, on paper, talent-wise, should have blown LSU off the floor. I think they played pretty good in the second half against the Texas team on the road. I think it's just been a lack of consistency. Now, if you can get that, again, considering Markel Sutton scored 0 points last night and you scored 106, if you get 8 to 10 from Markel Sutton, I think Oklahoma's a winnable game. Auburn has been as Jekyll and Hyde as any team in the country. You're playing at Neville Arena. That's always tough. And then you get Texas A&M, a team that I thought you should have won in College Station. And again, I think you're a much better team now than you were, kind of scuffling losing to Don Thomas in the opening game of conference play back on January 4th.
We'll see. Every game tough in the Southeastern Conference, but LSU got a win last night in Oxford. I know you were watching from afar as LSU played in Jacksonville last weekend. William Schmidt, one of his best outings as a Tiger. What did you think of him?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he's right on schedule. I mean, I know we talked about him either last week or the week before that. I mean, he's got all the tools, and I liken him, last year. It's a little different when you don't get to, a pitcher's a little different than, say, a freshman guard in basketball or a freshman in any position in basketball. But I think it's a matter of experience and confidence in the same way I talked about Jalen Reese. And he's going to get there. In fact, he may already be there. I'm looking forward to seeing what he'll do the rest of the season. And I know, obviously it was a tough night. I watched a little bit of the game on Tuesday, and you could kind of hear the world shake a little bit, when that game went final. That was how big that was. But, again, it's a 56-game season. You could tell Jay Johnson was quick to point out where the flaws were in the loss to McNeese. And again, I think, everybody wants to win every game, but there's no need to panic. LSU's full of talent, and we'll get to see it on display, and I'll get to see it first time this season with my own eyeballs coming up tomorrow.
Excellent. We'll have you on the call tomorrow. It was a tough Tuesday for the top 10. UCLA lost, Oklahoma lost, Arkansas got clobbered, and LSU lost to McNeese. It was a tough Tuesday. It happens in the midweek. We'll see if LSU can shake back on Friday, and Chris, you'll be there on the call. We appreciate it. See you at the box.
Yeah, man. I mean, Georgia Tech got throttled by their crosstown neighbor, Georgia State, on Tuesday. I mean, things happen. Things happen.
It does. See you at the box this weekend, Chris.
You got it.
He's Chris Blair, the voice of the Tigers. Our Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. I give you Sean's number every single week. Give him a call, 719-1723. Of course, that's in the 225 area code because you're talking about local beef that's some of the best in the country. How about this? If you don't like it, you don't pay for it. That's the deal Sean's going to cut you. You're talking about some of the finest beef in the country. He sent me pictures and videos earlier today of some beef that was twice the standard of prime. That standard is on the IMF scale 9. This is 18.29 is what he sent me. He's dropping some off at Suffolk Club today. You're talking about some of the best beef you will find anywhere in the country. And you can go up to Sagrera Farms and fill your freezer with half a cow, quarter cow, whole cow, and you're going to get them at really, really reasonable prices considering the rise in beef prices because Sean has not raised his prices. They have wherever you buy yours because of supply and demand. Well, Sean's got his supply. So go up there. Check out the process. Look at this incredibly marbled, tender, flavorful beef. And his promise, if you don't like it, you don't pay for it. It's an elite product that he's looking to get to local consumers here in South Louisiana. He's already got folks driving in from all over the country to get his product. He's got folks flying in from all over the country to ask him how he does it. He told me today when I was on the phone with him, it's not a big secret. It's just genetics. He's understood and mastered this craft to create some of the best beef in the country, and the consistency that he puts it out is truly remarkable. So go and by and see Sean at Sagrera Farms. Give him a call. As I told you, the number 225-719-1723. Sagrera Farms bring you our Thursday shows. Step aside, come back. What award did the Saints win? I'll tell you next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Safety's a big deal in the bathroom, especially as folks age. There's someone in your life that's getting older. You feel like the bathroom might be a hazardous situation. Do what you can to mitigate that risk. Talk to David. Say, what do you do in these situations? He'll tell you. They do non-slip floors. They can put in some handrails in slippery areas. They can put in a walk-in tub that's more convenient, safer, more comfortable. They can put in a bench in the shower. You may not think about this stuff all the time, but if I'm mentioning it, you're going, oh, that might make some sense. Contact my friend David Duvall at One Bath and Closets. Go to the website, onebathandclosets.com. Get that free consultation. Say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about bathrooms. He is happy to do it. Financing available, 0% up to 18 months, same as cash. One Bath and Closets. Check it out online, onebathandclosets.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Getting chastised by my wife via text message. She's currently at the store.
Okay.
She's asking me whether or not we should go up a size on Keller's diapers.
Are they too tight?
I haven't noticed that.
Oh.
She does it more than I do, and plus he's at daycare half the day. But that's not the issue. The issue is that she asked me the question and then sent back like 4 minutes later, okay, good talk.
I'm
on the radio.
Yeah, I'm about to say I didn't even get a chance.
I'm on the air. It wasn't like I missed you for 6 hours. We got a show to do. Like, my job is really, really, really flexible from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Totally
From
understand.
3 p.m. to 8 p.m., like, I'm around. If you need me to go run a quick errand, like, I can generally do something. That's a great thing about the gig. 1 to 3, I'm kind of tied up. I can't do a lot.
Unfortunately, I wholeheartedly understand what you're going through because my girl was mad because I said good morning a little too late this morning. So I mean, like, I just don't. It's not like I'm deliberately ignoring you.
I sit back in all caps. I'm on air with the laughing emoji. She was like, "Yeah, I guess I know."
Yeah, you know, I'm just doing my job.
I can't answer about diaper sizes while I'm on the air.
Right.
Send me one at 10 a.m. I got you. I can get right back.
You know,
that made me chuckle. All right, let me tell you about Auctioner because it's heart health. Let's start that over.
Yes.
Let me tell you about Auctioner because it's Heart Health Month in February. Auctioner is happy to help you out with that. You know, heart disease is the number one cause of death for men and women. It's so often preventable. Do what you can to do small, consistent habits that can help you stay healthy. Stay active, exercise, eat a balanced diet, fruits, veggies, whole grains. Manage your stress. Try to get enough sleep if you can. Avoid smoking. Limit alcohol. And your primary care provider is your partner in prevention. They help you by monitoring blood pressure, cholesterol, overall heart health. So make your heart a priority this Heart Month. Schedule a primary care appointment at auctioner.org/brprimary and take those small steps today to lead to a stronger heart tomorrow. Check in with your doctors. You can find them at auctioner.org. That's auctioner.org. All right, the Saints got an award this week at the NFL Combine. Our guy Ross Jackson wrote this up, and it's encouraging. You kind of knew that this was very much a possibility, but now it's actually been put forward. Inside the League, which handles scouting and drafts, gave the Saints the award for the best draft in the NFL this past spring that has just finished its rookie year. You know the names now. It's Kelvin Banks in the first round, Tyler Shuck in the second round, Vernon Broughton and Jonas Sanker in the third round, Danny Stutzman in the fourth, Quincy Riley in the fourth as well, Devin Neal in the sixth, Molokai Matavau in the seventh, and Fadil Diggs rounding things out in the seventh. And they got rewarded best draft. And I think that's warranted. I'm not going to go through every NFL team's draft. I just don't really care that much who the Bills drafted. Not all that interested in who the Cardinals picked up in the fourth. Not my thing, but I know who the Saints picked up, and it's really good. And I started to think about what that group did in its rookie year. Obviously, you know Kelvin Banks started every game at left tackle. He was great. You know that Tyler Shuck emerged late and was awesome. You know that Jonas Sanker, Danny Stutzman, and Quincy Riley all made impacts in varying degrees, in varying roles on the defense. Devin Neal played a little bit when there were some injuries. Molokai Mataval was active down the stretch. And then you got Fadil Diggs, who didn't do a lot, but was on the roster. Like, you didn't cut him. So at this point, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks. 9 picks. And I would suggest the top 7 have a real chance to help you. And I'm not going to completely rule out Mataval and Diggs. Like, they're not bust. They're just late picks who are still around. Would I bet on them being impact guys for the Saints? Probably not. But it's like they're still on the team. And you look at the draft history of the Saints over the years, and I'll just read you out some drafts. It's pretty easy to, like, recall. But 2 years ago, Fuaga, Kool-Aid, Rattler, those are your top 3, but you didn't have a 3rd or 4th round pick. And then you had Bub Means, nope. Jalen Ford, Christian Boyd, and then Josiah Zerum, who's gone. Like, your hit rate on that is probably – Spencer Rattler's probably not going to be an impact guy for the Saints moving forward. Might be 2 guys out of that draft. You had 7 picks. I think 2 of them might stick. The year before that, Brzee, okay. Foskey, gone. Kendre Miller hasn't helped. Saul DeVary, depth piece, hurt. Hayner, gone. Jordan Howden, depth piece in the secondary. Okay, not a terrible 5th round pick. A.T. Perry, gone. Like, your hit rate's under 50% on that. Then you go back to Olave and Penning in the 1st round. Penning's gone. Alontae Taylor in the 2nd. He's a guy that's probably going to be gone. Then you got DeMarco Jackson, nope. Jordan Jackson, nope. The year before that, Peyton Turner, nope. Pete Werner, okay, starter for you. Adebo, good pick in the 3rd round, absolutely. He's gone, but it was a good pick. Ian Book, no chance. Landon Young, depth piece in the offensive line. And then Kawan Baker, who, quite frankly, I forgot existed. 7th round pick from 2021, not an impact guy. The year before that, Cesar Ruiz, okay. Zach Bond, you let him go. He's really good now, but you let him go. Adam Troutman, gone. Tommy Stevens, gone. The year before that, Eric McCoy, yep, great. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, good player,
Great
but
pick.
gone. 4th rounder. Then Saquon Hampton, Alize Mack, Caden Ellis, who's gone. Like, you're missing on more than 50% every time. I mean, not without exception, you're missing on more than 50%. The year before that's Marcus Davenport, nope. Traquan Smith, nope. Rick Leonard, Natrell Johnson, Cameron Moore, Boston Scott, and Will Clapp.
Oof.
That's the worst draft maybe ever.
Oof.
The best NFL player on that list is Will Clapp, who was a depth offensive lineman for 3 different franchises. So for the Saints
Well, that's kind of scary, huh?
I know it is, but let me be a little bit aggressive. Not like conservative would be one way to do it. I'm going to be a little bit aggressive. I'm going to call Kelvin Banks a hit.
Yeah, we can go out and say
I'm going
that.
to call Tyler Shuck a hit.
Go out and say that.
I'm going to call Jonas Sanker a hit.
Playmaker.
He's going to play.
Yeah.
I'm going to call Danny Stutzman a hit. He's going to play. I'm going to call Quincy Riley a hit. That's 5. And I did not mention Vernon Broughton, who was a 3rd rounder because he didn't play. He was hurt. And I did not mention Devin Neal and then the 2 guys in the 7th round, Mataval and Diggs. But Neal could play.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but he could.
Show flashes.
But you almost certainly hit on 4, probably 5, potentially 6. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, especially Mickey Loomis. I mean, you just said the 2018 draft, so that means the 2017 draft was before that. So that's the scary part what I was getting at. So in 2017, he knocked it out the park. In 2018, he followed it up with one of the most worst class. The names you said in that 2018 draft, I almost threw up in my mouth.
Yep.
So you nailed 2025, and now we're looking at 2026. Well, you need to nail this one too. Yep. That's why I'm like, it's scary. Now I'm scared, Hunt. You went too deep into the draft class. I like
know,
that.
but let's focus on the positives. And now I'll tell you what I really think is going to happen with these guys. I think Kelvin Banks is going to be your franchise left tackle. I think Tyler Shuck's going to be your franchise quarterback. That is the first 2 rounds. They are mandatory hits. You must hit on the 1st and 2nd round every time. If you don't, you will fall behind. You will fail. They've hit those. I'm very confident of that. Broughton, I have no idea. Not a clue. So no idea there. Sanker, I think, has a better than 50% chance to be a starting safety on your team. Yeah. Better than 50%.
He showed a lot his rookie year.
Stutzman, I think with the way this DeMario Davis thing is going, there's a 98% chance he's on the roster this year, and there's a better than 50% chance he plays a ton this year as a second-year player. I think there's a 80% chance Quincy Riley's a starting cornerback for you moving forward. That's the first 4 rounds, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks, and 5 of them, I think, of the first 6 are in. They're
Starters.
in.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful what you saw in third rounder Vernon Broughton, which you had a pretty good scout on him. Your defensive line coach coached him in college.
Yeah.
Like, that is not that big a reach, and hopefully you know what you got. And if Broughton hits, all of a sudden that's like quite literally a transformative draft.
Yeah.
If that's the case. And that's not even talking about if Devin Neal becomes your third down back, or if Mataval becomes a reserve tight end, or if Fadil Diggs can rush the passer. I don't have a lot of hope for that, but look, it's a 7th-round pick. You hit on a 7th-round pick once in a blue moon. There's just not a lot of Marcus Colstons running around out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brock Purdy last pick in the draft.
It just doesn't happen very much. But this is a great honor for the Saints. It's well deserved for the Saints, and it's a palate cleanser from a disaster that was basically 3 years. So well deserved by the Saints front office. Now go do it again. And I had the number with this draft at 4 starters. They're going to go past that. I would put the number on this draft at 3 starters, and I need one to make some Pro Bowls. I need 3 starters with the guy that makes some Pro Bowls, and I think you've remade the roster with the salary that's coming off the following year. With 7 starters from those 2 drafts, then you've got you got it. You can do it. You still have to evaluate the free agents and allocate the money properly. But I've because you did so well with this past draft, I've now lowered my standard for the next draft. That's how this works. You don't have as many spots. You had all the spots to fill last year. Well, now you filled 4, and there's free agency coming in the next offseason where you can fill more of those. So you grade on a better curve when you hit on draft picks. Big deal.
And especially we just saw, again, the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl this year, and their 2023 draft was, like you just said, a transformative draft. They sit there and hit all those picks, and a couple years later, you just get a quarterback, and now you win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that's how the Saints can go, but that they won a Super Bowl. That's the model you need to be going after. Build your team through the draft. This draft is the most crucial one. You're playing with house money, but like you said, that first pick, you said the first 3, but number 8, he needs to be the Pro Bowler. Like, he needs to be the guy that needs to be the 3-time Pro Bowler, maybe an All-Pro. Like, he needs to be the guy.
But, Shuck, 2nd rounder. I think there were some other good, like Paulson Adebo in the 3rd round. Yeah, C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the 4th round.
Yeah. Just don't do a
Marcus Williams in the 2nd round. Like, that's the best example. Like, you can get one in the 2nd round, but it's easier to do it in the 1st round. So hopefully they do it. You want me to go through all those drafts again?
No.
And we'll get a break, come back and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci, go take a tour at Marucci. It's such a cool tour. It really is. Go see it. It's such a gem here in Baton Rouge. And the story, which they tell you on the tour, makes it even cooler. Like, it'd be one thing to go see where they make 1,200 bats a day that they ship off to the greatest players in the world. Like, that's a cool thing to see. But when you realize that just 2 decades ago, this thing started up in a backyard, it's just cooler. And that's what happened with Marucci. So if you want to go take a tour, whether it's you, whether it's your family, whether it's your family that's coming into town and needs something to do, whether you're talking about a youth baseball team, youth softball team, whatever the case may be, class field trip, that'll work. Marucci is happy to have you. Go to maruccisports.com/campus-tour. That's maruccisports.com/campus-tour. Every single ticket that you buy for the tour gets you a 20% discount to the Campus Tour store and the Hitter's House. It's time to load up that young softball player, young baseball player in your house with all the gear for baseball season. Marucci's happy to help you do it. And go take a tour while you're at it of Marucci. Check him out at maruccisports.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. We're closing up shop here. Unfortunately, some really, really, really sad news from the LSU and Louisiana Tech football families today. Devontae Lee, who was a former star at a meet, who came to LSU, played a couple of years for the Tigers at safety and at wide receiver, transferred up to Louisiana Tech. And when he got to Ruston at Louisiana Tech, actually got diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer and beat it, rung the bell. And we learned today that he has died. I do not have confirmation as to what the cause of death was at this time. Obviously, when you're dealing with a person who's young and has had cancer, that's certainly a possibility. But I don't know what happened, but it has been confirmed by Louisiana Tech and LSU that Devontae Lee has passed away. So just an incredibly tragic situation for a young person who obviously was so talented, and heard from a number of people in the media that have dealt with Devontae. I never did personally, but saw Garland Gillen, saw Billy Embody, Jarrett Roser, even Derek Panamsky talk about him in glowing terms as an incredible young man. I watched a story that Garland Gillen did on Devontae Lee after he had beaten cancer a couple years ago, and was just full of life. His mom was so proud of him and spoke so glowingly of him. And so obviously far too soon for Devontae Lee, former A-Meet star, transferred to LSU and played at Louisiana Tech for a couple of years as well, has died, unfortunately. There's no easy transition out of that, but I did want to pass that along. Jeff Landry did pass along some positive news in regards to LSU football in Tiger Stadium early today, reading this tweet from the governor's desk. Big news for Tiger Nation. AT&T is investing $45 million to upgrade its network inside Tiger Stadium before the coming football season. When you have over 100,000 people in one place, you need service that works. So he credits the president, Dr. Wade Roos, and president of AT&T, David Aubrey, for the partnership. So it sounds like improved cell service for those in Tiger Stadium, thanks to the folks over at AT&T, and that's very, very good. Something I don't take for granted that I don't have to worry about too much because I'm hardwired in the press box. But I know y'all are down there in the heat of it, trying to get service, trying to get Twitter, trying to get social media, trying to get text messages and phone calls to stay in communication with people. And it can be tough when there's that many people there. So it sounds like LSU is making some moves to try to get that rectified with the folks over at AT&T. So positive stuff on that end. Let's play some Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so it's NFL Combine season. You already know the measurements, the 40-yard dash, all that is coming out. So Miami edge rusher Ruben Bain checked in with 30-inch arms, 30-inch and 7/8 arms with a 77-inch wingspan. And he also came in a little bit short at 6'2". Also, Cassius Howell, A&M, SC Player of the Year. He measured him with even shorter arms at 30 inches and 1/4. These are the shortest arms for an edge rusher to be taken in the first round since 1999. So should this be a big deal? Take it or leave it?
I'll leave it.
Leave it alone.
Because it's not a big deal. It is a deal.
It's
like
crazy,
those
though.
6'7" tackles in the NFL have long arms. They'll get their arms on you. Now, you watch those two dudes.
Monsters.
They can go. Cassius Howell was a terror in the SEC, and Bain took over the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, look, we heard this with Will Campbell last year, and people concerned about that as well. And I'm not a talent advisor, but those two dudes, if I could get them in the middle of the first round, I'd feel like I got a couple guys that can impact a football team. I wish they were 6'5", trust me, but they're not. They can play though, and so I think I would risk it.
No, this will definitely be the litmus test. Them and Will Campbell of the arm length thing, and we're definitely gonna see how this plays out in the next couple of years. So the Pittsburgh Steelers received the worst overall grade in the NFL, the little annual player report cards, even though they got taken away. So it got leaked to ESPN, of course. The Miami Dolphins, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Washington Commanders were the top 3 highest.
Really?
Yes,
That's
those are the top 3 highest. And on the flip, Browns number 30, Cardinals 31, Steelers 32. So
if you told me. If you told me, give me 4 organizations that are definitely not last, the Steelers would have been in it.
Easily. So apparently with them is like super old facilities, none of the new top-notch stuff. So story franchise not taking care of their players. Take it or leave it.
I gotta take it, I guess. If the players are saying they're not, it would be hard for me to argue with the players who are actually there. I enjoyed my 2 nights in Pittsburgh. In 2011 when LSU played West Virginia, but I did not tour the facility of the Steelers that 15 years ago, so I can't necessarily speak to it. But yeah, that's stunning because you think of that as one of the shining lights in the NFL.
Steelers. Well, you know what that means, Hunt. You just say you haven't been there in 15 years. It actually still might have the same stuff.
That's true. When you did they fix the Saints cafeteria? That's what I want to know.
Well, apparently the Saints. Well, it was just leaked. They don't have the full thing. Trust me, I want to know. I mean, you can't be New Orleans and have a bad calf. That just doesn't go with.
Clearly they could because they pulled it off at one point, but they're supposed to put in a brand new one. And the media members all toured it, said it was great. So hopefully that's the case.
It for Take It or Leave It.
All right, our Thursday shows are brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Some of the best beef in the country right here just north of Baton Rouge. Give Sean a call and go by and see him. Fill your freezer full of that beef from Sagrera Farms. All right, that's it for us on a Thursday. If you missed any of it, baseball, basketball, football, we talked about it all. You can find it on demand wherever you find your sound. Hunt Palmer Show. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further View. See you tomorrow for Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust started up in 1910. That's 116 years ago. They're still trucking and growing. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. So if you're looking for a bank that you can trust, First American Bank and Trust. Well, why can you trust them? One, they've been at it for 116 years. I think they know what they're doing. Two, they've got 25 locations, so you know they've got the capital necessary, the resources necessary to handle your commercial loan if you're a business, your personal loan if you're looking for that home of your dreams. It's got that community feel. That's the thing with First American Bank and Trust. You're going to go in there and you're going to deal with people from Southeast Louisiana. If there's a decision to be made on your loan, it'll be made by people from Southeast Louisiana. And there's one near you, St. John, St. Lafourche, Terrebonne parishes, even up I-12, talking about St. Tammany, Tangipahoa. It's First American Bank and Trust. Stop on by and see them. When you do, you'll see somebody you know. You'll see somebody your kids go to school with. You'll see somebody you go to church with. It's First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust.